Okay, good to go. Okay, we're back in the regular meeting. I have a motion from Councillor Crowson. Option to purchase 9.1. Be it resolved that Council direct the closed meeting discussions, reports, and attachments with respect to an option to purchase remain confidential pursuant to Section 16, harmful to business interests of a third party, of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, and further be it resolved that administration proceed with the confidential direction provided during the in-camera meeting. Councillor Crowson?
Unless there are questions, I will call the vote.
I see no questions. Question has been called. All in favor? Any opposed? There are none. Next, I have a motion from Councillor Morrow. Appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Be it resolved that Council direct the closed meeting discussions, report, and attachments with respect to boards, commissions, and committees remain confidential pursuant to Section 17, harmful to personal privacy, 19, confidential evaluations, and 24, advice from officials of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And further be it resolved that City Council, 1, ratify the following organizational representatives on the Community Design Committee. First, Brad Schmidtke, Build Representative, 2-year term, expiring December 2021. Bridget Mearns, Build Representative, 2-year term, expiring December 2021. And thank Perry Neufeld for his service. 2, ratify the following representative from the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Alberta, APEGA, on the Community Design Committee. Trevor Loomer, for 2-year term expiring December 2021. And ratify the following representative from the Holy Spirit Catholic School Division on the Youth Advisory Council. Joshua Croker, 2-year term expiring December 2021. 4, ratify the following representative from the University of Lethbridge Student Union on the Youth Advisory Council. Ryan Lindbald, 1-year term expiring April of 2021. And thank Bailey Hooray for her service. 5, thank Nick Cool for his service on the Downtown Business Revitalization Board. And thank Mr. Trent Fajuta for his service on the Heart of Our City Committee, and ratify the following representative from the Southern Alberta Ethnic Association on the Heart of Our City Committee, Jackie French, for a 2-year term expiring in December 2021. Are there any questions from Council? I see none. Question has been called. All in favor? Any opposed? There are none. Thank you. Thank you for that. Councillor Morrow? Sponsoring the last motion. Next in-camera motion is moved by Councillor Miyashiro. Omnibus resolution for 9.3, 9.4, 9.6, and 9.7. Be it resolved that Council direct the closed meeting discussions, reports, attachments, and presentations with respect to the fee-for-services agreement, COVID-19 update, verbal, personnel matter number 1, verbal, and personnel matter number 2, verbal. Remain confidential pursuant to Section 16, harmful to business interests of a third party, 17, harmful to personal privacy, 18, harmful to individual or public safety, 24, advice from officials, and 25, harmful to economic or other interests of a public body of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Councillor Miyashiro?
If there's no questions, then
Okay, there are no questions. Call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? There are none. Thank you. Next one, 9.5, Business Improvement Area Bylaw. In camera from Councillor Campbell. Be it resolved that Council direct that the closed meeting discussions, reports, attachments, and presentations with respect to Business Improvement Area Bylaw be kept confidential pursuant to sections 24, advice from officials, 25, harmful to economic and other interests of a public body, and 27, privileged legal of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And further be it resolved that this item be forwarded to the special council meeting of May the 11th, 2020 for council's consideration. Councillor Campbell?
I just want to make sure that the HOC letter that was added to the council corporation record is noted here, if I may.
Okay, we have received that.
Okay. If there's no other question.
No other questions?
I'll ask for the vote.
Question's been called. All in favor? Any opposed? There are none. Thank you. Next, I have a notice of motion from Councillor Crowson, so this won't be discussed. I'll just read the notice of motion. Financial sustainability and operational budget review in November 2020. Whereas City Council recognizes that the COVID-19 crisis is greatly impacting the residents and businesses of Lethbridge, and whereas this crisis will have long-term consequences on businesses and residents and impact ongoing operations of the City of Lethbridge, and whereas City Council is responsible for setting the service levels delivered to the community, and whereas service levels drive budget allocations, and whereas City Council needs information and time to understand the long-term impacts of the crisis, therefore be it resolved that City Council undertake the appropriate actions in support of a recovery strategy to review the operational budget in November 2020, and further be it resolved that the City Manager will outline a process and schedule for a review of service levels to allow the budget review for 2021 and 2022. So that's just read out as a notice of motion and will be dealt with at the May 19th, 2020 meeting of City Council. And finally, I have another resolution from Councillor Morrow. Adjournment, that we do now adjourn the regular meeting of City Council until May the 19th, 2020. Councillor Morrow? Question's been called. All in favor? Opposed? There are none. Thank you. Council is adjourned.